democracy at the highest level. As we go around this country, we listen to senior citizens and disabled veterans. And what the seniors and disabled vets tell us is they cannot make it on $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 a year Social Security. And the truth is that nobody can make it on $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 a year Social Security. Now, my Republican colleagues, they think that we should cut Social Security benefits. Well, I've got some bad news for them. Not only are we not going to cut Social Security benefits, we're going to expand Social Security benefits. And as we go around the country, we listen and talk to our brothers and sisters in the African American community. And they are asking why it is that when we turn on a TV, we see videos of unarmed African Americans being killed by police officers. And they ask why it is that when blacks and whites use marijuana at about equal levels, why does it turn out that blacks are 4 times more likely to be arrested for possession of marijuana? Why it is that in many of their communities, the police departments look like occupying armies. Now, I am a former mayor of the largest city in Vermont, and I've worked with police there for many years. Vast majority of police officers are honest and hardworking. But, that's right, and it's a very difficult job, and it's not an easy job to be a cop today. But when a police officer, like any other public official, breaks the law, that officer must be held accountable. And our campaign is listening to our brothers and sisters in the Latino community. And what they are saying is they are working really, really hard, often at very low-wage jobs. They are tired of living in the shadows. They are tired of being afraid that their families can be torn apart. They want, and I want, comprehensive immigration reform. And a path toward citizenship. And I agree, and if the Congress does not do its job and pass comprehensive immigration reform, as President of the United States, I will use all of the executive authority in my power. My father came to this country at the age of 17 as an immigrant. I know a little bit about the immigrant experience. Our job is to unite families, not divide families. Now, I want to take a minute as we talk about this campaign to just highlight some of the differences that exist between myself and Secretary Clinton. I am very proud to come before you and tell you that I do not have a super PAC. I do not represent Wall Street or corporate America or the billionaire class. We do not want their money, don't need their money. Now, Secretary Clinton has raised many millions of dollars from Wall Street and the drug companies. And like every elected official who raises a lot of money, she says, well, it's not going to influence me. But I want everybody to ask themselves a very simple question. Why are... Hold on. You could say a whole lot about Wall Street, and I will, but these guys may be operating illegally, they may be reckless, they may be greedy, but they are not dumb. All right? So you have to ask yourselves, as do the American people, why is it that Wall Street pours millions and millions of dollars into the Clinton campaign? And second of all, it seems to me that if you're going to give speeches behind closed doors, to Wall Street groups like Goldman Sachs, and if you get paid, and if you're going to get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for that speech, it must be a great speech, and you want to share it with the American people. Secretary Clinton said she will make her transcripts available if others make their transcripts available. I am the other. I'm making my transcripts available. Their honor. Now, the majors, all of you know, foreign policy is a very important part of what a president does and what Congress does. The most important foreign policy decisions have been made in this country for many, many years regarding the war in Iraq. Now, I was in the House representing Vermont in 2002. I listened very carefully because when you're dealing with issues of war and peace, all members of Congress listen carefully because they know that it'll be kids in their own state going off and maybe not coming back. So I listened very carefully to what Bush had to say, to what Cheney had to say, what Rumsfeld had to say. I did not believe them. I led the opposition to going to war. And it gives me no pleasure to tell you that if you go to my website, BernieSanders.com, read what I said in 2002 about the fact that it's easy to overthrow a tyrant like Saddam Hussein. It is a lot harder to predict what will happen the day after. And what happened the day after, as all of you know, and is happening today, has been an absolute disaster. Hillary Clinton heard the the same evidence that I did. She voted for that war. Now, when we talk about why the middle class in America has been disappearing for 30 years, why so many working class people have fallen into poverty, there are a number of reasons, but one of those reasons is our disastrous trade policies. Now, the media does not really talk about trade. They're not interested in trade, and it's not a sexy issue, but it is a very important issue. When I was elected to the Congress in 1990, shortly after, I helped lead the effort against NAFTA. And I went to, and by the way, NAFTA has been a disaster not only for workers in the United States, but for workers in Mexico as well. And this I will never forget. I went on a trip to the Maquiladora area in Mexico, and that's a special zone where they give tax breaks to corporations who move in that area. And I went and I visited many of these brand new, beautiful, state-of-the-art factories. And then I went to visit the workers. And I wish I could tell you that I went to visit them in their homes, but they did not have homes. They were living literally, the workers that I saw, in cardboard shacks, making then 25 cents an hour. Truth is that since 2001, we have lost 60,000 factories in America and millions of decent-paying jobs because corporate America has said, why do I want to reinvest in Texas or Vermont in America when I can go to some cheap labor country abroad and then bring my product back to the United States? I have helped lead the effort against all of these disastrous trade policies. Secretary Clinton supported NAFTA, supported permanent normal trade relations with China. She was wrong, I was right on those trade issues. Now, when we talk about why the American people are angry and why there is so much frustration in this country, it has a lot to do with the fact that the American people look out. They are working longer hours for low wages, and what they are seeing is that 58% of all new income generated in America is going to the top 1%. They are looking out and they see that the top 1/10 of 1% now owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. And they see the 20 wealthiest families in this country now owning more wealth than the bottom 50%. That is 150 million Americans. Now, I want to tell you a story about what the rigged economy means. Turns out that the wealthiest family in this country is the Walton family of Walmart. They own, as one family, more wealth than the bottom 40% of the American people. One family. Now, this is what a rigged economy is about. Walmart pays wages that are so low that many of their employees are on Medicaid, food stamps, or subsidized housing. Who do you think is paying for that Medicaid, food stamps, and subsidized housing?